Good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Mavon, and I am the board chair for the Corona Chamber of Commerce and owner of Creative by Design. Today is a great day with some important updates ahead, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us. As all our weekly calls are informative, we continue to assist you in creating vision and bring a variety of speakers and topics. I will be sharing today's agenda with our president and CEO, Bobby Spiegel. Bobby?
Hey, thanks so much, Kim, and welcome everyone to the call. Today's sponsor is one of our business partners, Kaiser Permanente. They have been providing high-quality healthcare and coverage for more than 75 years. When everything about your healthcare, including your health plan, is connected, everyone is equally invested in your total health. As Kaiser says, when our members thrive, everybody wins. Thank you to Kaiser Permanente for sponsoring this meeting today. Kim?
Thank you, Bobby. As a reminder, please use the chat button to ask any questions. Send your questions to the chamber host and we will verbally ask them at the appropriate time. At this time, Bobby's going to share about what's coming up for the chamber in the next 90 days.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kim. And the first slide that we're going to have up there is regarding masks. And I know that there's a big outbreak right now. A lot of people, look, it's a contagious type of a thing going out there, a little greater than a flu. But here's what you can do. If you need masks, we got 2 different types of masks available. Just call us at the chamber. We'll be glad to get you those. The next thing that I wanted to mention is our Good Morning Corona events. This Friday, we have a great program with our Executive Leadership Roundtable graduation. And all of these will be up at Eagle Glen Golf Club. And if you would like to attend, please let us know right away. So Friday, August 20th, and then the other ones coming up are Friday, September 10th, October 15th, and November 12th. On each of these different days, we have different topics. Like I said, the August 20th is our Executive Leadership Roundtable, graduation, great program. Love for you to come and learn a little bit about what they did. Our next one that will happen is September 10th. We're going to be honoring police and fire that day. A great opportunity for you to come and show your love and support for our local heroes there. And that will be on September 10th at Eagle Glen. On October 15th, we've got our congressional update, and that will be with our Congressman Ken Calvert. And he is going to be here to give us an update on what's going on in Washington, D.C. And then our final one for the year will be November 12th as we salute all veterans, as well as active duty personnel. And these are great opportunities for you to network, as well as if you are inclined to do any sponsoring, we would be very interested in you doing that as well. The next slide that's going to be up there is about our September 13th Coffee with an Entrepreneur and our very own Marta Cortez. She serves on our board of directors, but most importantly, she is a managing partner with her siblings of Eduardo's Mexican Restaurant in Corona. Over 25 years of just doing a stellar job in the community. This is a free program that we offer you in partnership with the City of Corona and the Corona Chamber of Commerce. So we would encourage you to please plug in and make sure that you can hear tidbits from Marta. Our next slide that we're going to talk about is September 30th. It is a Thursday and it's the Riverside County Women's Leadership Conference. Lots of great information that will be shared. 15 different speakers, including a panelist, County Supervisor Karen Spiegel, who founded the organization, the entire program. She will kick things off with her inspirational message on grit. And then the following 10 speakers in a different order, but these are alphabetical: Kathy Armstrong, Griselda Beck, Diane Callahan, Emily Filipino, Robbie Mater, Sonja Prince, R.V. Robinson, Dr. Aaliyah Rodriguez, Dr. Cassandra Sanders Hawley, and Jan Steiner. And it is amazing. And then we've got some amazing physicians that are going to be on a panel that will be able to take care of some of the questions that we're asking for you to submit in advance so that they can give you up-to-date information. Great stuff going on with the Women's Leadership Conference. Please register now. Tickets are available online, and this will be an in-person as well as a virtual conference. I did also just want to mention, before I turn it back over to Kim, some of the people that are on our call today. We are very honored, of course. Our chair for the event for this legislative outreach, our calls every week, is the former state assembly member, former Corona mayor and council member, but a businessman for 45 plus years, and that's Jeff Miller. And he's carved time out to help us perfect these calls. We say 28 minutes or less. We're going to be on the call. He is on the call, as well as former mayor and city council member for the city of Corona is Jason Scott, who is our current citizen of the year. We're very honored to have him on. As well, we have representing the city of Wildemar, Kim Davidson in the economic development arena, Southern California Gas. We have Leah Peterson, Dr. Monica Green, the president of Norco College, Pete Cervantes with the Office of Education for Riverside County. And again, we just want to say thank you to all of you for being on the call today. I'm going to turn it back over to Kim.
Thank you, Bobby. As part of our Chamber's advocacy outreach, these weekly Corona Chamber business briefings focus on relevant topics. During a 28-minute period, our business briefings are held to educate and empower our members. If you are a guest and not currently a member of the Corona Chamber, we welcome you to join our family. Also, look at those businesses that you are using as vendors. Ask them if they are members of the Corona Chamber. Refer those names and contact information to Robert Yanez. He can assist them to become part of our chamber family. Meetings like these are just one of the many benefits to being part of an active, thriving organization like the Corona Chamber. We serve a regional landscape and are not bound by geographical limits. Please outreach to Robert as he can review the many incentives for both joining and referring a business to join. Our chamber is growing and we invite you to help us make a larger impact. The Corona Chamber continues to provide you with the resources for prosperity. And I want to thank all of you for being part of our business community and welcome your input and questions. Before we begin with our next segment, let me share with you, oh, you already did that, Bobby. Okay. At this time, we will shift to our advocacy segment where legislative advocate Jeff Gibson will share. Keeping a pulse on what is happening in Sacramento and Washington, D.C. can be a full-time job. With Jeff Gibson's thorough and complete research, he helps the Corona Chamber to act timely on projects and initiatives to help make a difference in shaping our community. As owner of Occidental Communications Group, Jeff Gibson takes a 40,000-foot view on most of the proposed bills, then dissects them to our level and how we as business owners and managers will be impacted by those proposed bills. His knowledge of complex political issues and the great relationships he has built ensure the Corona Chamber has the tools necessary to be effective on behalf of the business community. Please help me welcome Jeff Gibson to share an update.
So we have had some major success in the last, just the last few days, in which two of the major tax increases that were proposed, AB 1199 and AB 1253, which we discussed in July, in some of our July meetings as being stalled, those have actually been completely stalled by policy committees. They were passed over during the most recent deadline. And so that's very, very good news. Now they can still be added later this month and through the gut and amend process, but as tax bills, they really are a policy that generally unless of course the state needs the cash, the state really wants to go through a hearing process. So that's very good news. If you could please stay in touch with your Assemblymember Cervantes. If you're Kim Davidson, of course, Assemblymember Kelly Cierto, who does represent a tiny sliver of Corona, and Senator Roth, or again, if you are Kimberly Davidson, Senator Melendez, who again also represents a tiny sliver of Corona, South Corona, and let them know that we are monitoring all tax legislation and that in this startup mode for California businesses coming out of the lockdown or potentially being affected by any sort of activity that would lead to a lockdown of businesses because of another outbreak. that we really need to have their support on limiting taxation. So those are the first two pieces. On the second slide we have here, I wanted to give you some perspective, so just some straightforward perspective on which important deadlines are coming up. So August 27th are the last day for committees to make their fiscal reports. So these are fiscal committees of how bills are going to be paid for. Each committee has to, each bill that goes through that has a number for a state expenditure attached to it has to go through it's known as the appropriations process, the fiscal process basically, and all those bills have to be reported out by August 27th. August 30th, all other legislative activity. So anything dealing with hearings, anything dealing with press conferences, our beloved press conferences, all of that goes away. And between August 30th and September 10th, we spend all of our available time on voting and on hearings or in debate on the floor. So many of you have gone to Sacramento with us, have been on the floor of either the state assembly or the state senate, and so all of the process goes right to there. On September 10th, the legislature adjourns, which generally means that all men and women are safer, according to the old sage. So that's a good day. A major wrinkle that's coming in this year that we have not previously had is the scheduling of the recall election. So the recall election, and not getting political here, but getting into how this is going to play out over the next several months, so that you can be ahead of the game. The new wrinkle here is that September 14th is the recall. Well, September 10th, bills are reported out. So for the first time in California history, we may end up having a different governor than the one that negotiated all the legislation. And that governor would have all of the veto or signature authority that the current governor has. So if there is a major change in policy, expect to see a outsized change in policy right off the bat, because most legislation is not going to even be reported to the governor, to the governor's administration out of the legislature by September 10th. So usually that takes about 3 to 4 working days to get all the legislation there. The governor has until October 10th to report that out. So a governor that is inaugurated earlier than later could possibly have different opinions on a lot of the legislation that's going through, and could possibly decide that based on their opinion of what legislation is there, can sign or veto bills like there's no tomorrow. So we really normally our discussions in September and October are setting you up for regulations that are going to be coming up next year. In reality, the political process is going to continue on until the political legislative process is going to continue on until late October this year. So with that, I can answer any questions you might have, or go from there.
Thank you, Jeff. Anthony, do we have any questions?
We have one question at the moment, and it was regarding the recall. What's the status of the governor's recall vote and the status of candidates running for governor?
Well, so the recall is set on September 14th. All registered voters in the state of California are going to be receiving a vote by mail ballot. They can also vote in person. California eliminated the local the local polling place about, I want to say in 2018. So you're really going to have to go out of your way to find a polling place. I always vote just personally in person. So the polling, so your ballot will be arriving, should be arriving this week. There are two questions. The first question is whether or not the governor should be retained or recalled. If you vote yes, you are voting for the governor to be recalled. If you are voting no, then you are voting for the governor to be retained. The second ballot question, which every single person, whether they vote yes or no on the first question, can participate in, and that is, if the governor is recalled, who should replace him? And currently there are, although the filing is closed, there are 5 to 6, depending upon who's counting, relatively prominent Republicans that are running. There are no Democrats, no prominent Democrats are running, although there is one who has never held any sort of major party position or authority. So that's the basic summary of the recall to date. The election will be held on September 14th, Tuesday, September 14th. It is a ballot measure. So the governor does not have campaign limits because ballot measures don't have campaign limits. But the people running to replace him do have campaign limits because the second question is an election. We have a ballot measure and an election. So while as confusing as that may be, you know, it just is what it is. So, but as a ballot measure, it takes effect immediately, as soon as the election is done. So most of our initiatives, ballot measures take effect immediately. So, in any case.
Thank you, Jeff. The next question is, can you address HR 4980? What's the likelihood it will pass?
Totally unfamiliar with House Resolution 4980. I'm presuming that's federal policy because that's the numbering system that's there, and we'd have to go and come back at a different time.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
The last question that we have received is, will we still be using Dominion machines at the polling places, and will we have to show ID at the polling places?
In the state of California, the state of California has ruled that showing ID in order to access the right to vote is illegal. So you don't have to bring your ID. And as far as I know, and I have been involved in this for quite some time, California does not use any voting systems directly from Dominion. So those are the only answers that I really have. But the state is not going to has not announced any changes to its normal procedure other than a pilot program to print your ballot at home, which has caused some consternation because of a number of different reasons, including the fact that different paper stocks may or may not fit into the vote counting machine. So that was largely discontinued. It was something that was looked at earlier, but in any case, that's kind of where we are.
Thank you, Jeff. There are no further questions.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks again, Jeff. As he mentioned, please reach out to your local representatives, Assemblymember Sabrina Cervantes and Senator Richard Roth, both of whose contact information is shown on your screen. Again, We always appreciate the critical updates that Jeff provides us. We'd once again like to thank today's sponsor, Kaiser Permanente. Healthcare doesn't have to be complicated. Get convenient, high-quality care designed to help keep you healthy. Learn more at kaiserpermanente.org. If you would like to sponsor a future business briefing, please contact the Chamber. Register now to join us next Wednesday, August 25th, for more advocacy news. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Our meeting is adjourned.